So you've decided to take the plunge into the unknown and become a paranormal investigator. Well, I'm here to get you started with a bunch of tips and tricks. Alas, please drop a like and a subscribe if you're feeling kind, and let's get started. To become a paranormal investigator, you first need to get a paranormal investigator license. The first way to do this is to purchase it from the reward store for 3,000 perk points. I know, 'tis fancy and we don't like that. The second way to get the license is to train and max out your medium skill at level 5 by performing actions on the seance table. Then speak to Guidry, who will regularly appear on haunted house residential lots around 9 PM every night, and tell him that you want to be a paranormal investigator. You can change your lot type to be a haunted house residential at the top left of the screen while in build mode. Note that you'll know if a sim has theirs, as it will appear as one of their traits. Personally, I strongly suggest going with the second option because the repay perk points is very steep, and because even if you decide to buy the perk, you're likely still going to need level 5 of the medium skill to consistently be successful as a paranormal investigator. Once you have the license, then enter into the freelance career and choose the paranormal investigator option. To get started on your first task, click check for gigs and you'll see an easy, medium, and hard option in which you can pick one. For the purpose of this guide, we're going straight into hard, as the workday is the same at all levels, just with increased difficulty. So if you can complete the day on hard, then easy and medium will be a breeze. Gigs start at 9:30 PM each night and go until either you complete the gig or until the time expires and you fail in 9 hours at 6:30 AM. When you start your night as a paranormal investigator, you'll be transported to a random lot and notice a bar at the top left. The goal is to fill this bar up to successfully complete the gig, and there are 3 key ways to do this. The first is by removing cursed objects around the house. There are 5 types, and removing each will provide a small amount of progress. I suggest removing the hands, dolls, and vines first, as these are smashed in an instant, while the occult flooring and slime creatures must be mopped, which takes around 20 sim minutes, so it's less bar progress for your time. Also note that walking over slime creatures will see your sim slip and lose a chunk of their hygiene need, so try to avoid that if possible. You don't have time to be stinky, and also try not to have your sim stand too close to these cursed objects for a long time as well, as they can give you negative moodlets and make your sim tense or scared. Now before we move on to the next way to increase your performance bar, it needs to be noted that the first can be interrupted by the scared emotion. If you're just a bit scared with a +2 moodlet, you'll still be able to destroy cursed objects. But if this grows to a +4 or beyond and it's a dominant moodlet, then your sim will be in a bit of a bind and they won't be able to perform the tasks to increase their performance. This is what makes the career tricky. However, there are some great ways to deal with this. The first is to explore outside of a home and the garden before entering. For some reason, being in a front or backyard doesn't seem to trigger the same scared moodlets that being inside does as often. Smash cursed objects and interact with the outside ghosts before going in. A second way is to purchase the Brave trait from the reward store, which will mean your sims get scared less easily and recover faster. The only downside here is that it costs a ridiculous 8,000 points. Seriously, who priced that thing? I mean, it costs a lot to get into Gryffindor these days. But another, more achievable way is by stacking moodlets of another kind before you start your day, so that they overpower the scared or terrified moodlets that pop up. This can be any moodlet, but personally I went with Energized, as one gift from the ghosts is called the Unassuming Candy Jar. You can eat forbidden candy from this every so often, and you'll get a +2 energized moodlet for a few hours and have your energy slowly restore itself during this period. Note that it has a long cooldown, and eating from this for a second time too quickly will leave your sim uncomfortable, so save it for just before work each day and stack it with other moodlets. Drinking oolong tea will give another +2 energized moodlet, and having a brisk shower a +1 moodlet. If you have the Spa Day game pack, then having a bath with muscle relaxing soaks also gives a long lasting +2 moodlet for 8 hours. Do this right before your gig, and the first few hours it'll override much of the pressure from the scared moodlets, so you can keep performing tasks. The second way to fill up the progress bar is by interacting with and getting ghosts to leave. Now there are 3 options here, being asked to leave, present offering, and offer soul. The first, being asked to leave, takes time, is only occasionally successful, and has a small impact on your performance bar. As such, this should generally be avoided unless absolutely necessary. Present offering and offer soul, however, are much better and faster interactions, and if successful, have a chance to have that ghost leave behind a random gift for you, such as wraith wax, bizarre idols, strange foods, and heaps more. Some of these, like the unassuming candy jar, are really helpful, and I'll talk about more helpful ones later. To present an offering, you'll need to have an object that you crafted yourself to give. Now your mind likely goes to something like paintings, but let's be realistic. We don't have time to paint 5 artworks before a shift. We have places to be, things to do, a bed to sleep in, you know? But what also works is to use a bar to make drinks. And drinks like the wines, which you literally pour in seconds, work perfectly. Before your shift, have your sim pour around 5-ish wines or quickly make drinks and pop them into your inventory. Then, when you start your gig, you are gift ready. You're like Santa for these ghosties with your wine and drinks. Note that there's a chance that giving an offering can fail, but with 5 drinks on the go, you can just offer another. When successful, this provides a solid boost to your performance bar and gives a chance of getting a gift, so it's a win-win. The third way to make ghosts leave is by offering your soul to them. If successful, which it almost always is, it will provide a large performance boost and often a gift too. However, it will also leave Sims with a +3 sad moodlet that lasts for 11 hours, and you won't be able to perform this interaction again until the moodlet has passed, meaning you can only really use it once per work night. This being said, sometimes ghosts will give you a soul scrap as a gift, and if you have one, then absorbing this will instantly remove the negative sad buff, meaning you can offer your soul instantly again. If you need the performance boost, definitely make use of this. Of all the methods, I find dealing with ghosts my favorite way to fill up the performance bar. But we're going to move on to the final method to increase your performance bar, and this really does have a place. And this is by creating seance circles and performing ceremonies. Note that to create seance circles anywhere, you will need to be maxed out at level 5 of the medium skill. These provide a decent amount of performance, but take a while to complete and can be interrupted by ghosts. As such, try and set yourself up in an area without ghosts around to do this, ideally outside. Keep in mind that this will drain a sim's energy, but if you started the gig with decent energy and ate some forbidden candy before you started, then you'll be okay. Now the great thing about this task is that it can be performed even if you're terrified or too scared to do anything else. So if your sim is losing his or her mind and looks like he's gonna pee his pants, turn your attention to this. Now, ghosts rather often give wraith wax as a gift, and that can be turned into sacred candles. If you're performing a ceremony and you have these, it can help to whip them out of your inventory and place them near you, as they'll help lower your fear while you work nearby. You can pop them right back into your inventory once you're done. Completing a shift will see you get 3,000 simoleons for hard, 1,500 for medium, and 750 for easy, as well as an object, and these can be rarer objects such as the Dahlia dolls or even the Spectre jars, which are very cute. I love. Maxing your performance bar is difficult and it will take many successful gigs, but it can see your base pay increase and will also provide some additional objects before it resets the performance to average. It's also quickly worth noting that sending your sim to work passively isn't a great idea for this career path, as they'll often come home early, scared, and having lost work performance for failing. Alas, that's a complete guide to the paranormal investigator career. If you enjoyed or found that helpful, then please subscribe and leave a like. I would really appreciate it, and have an amazing day. See you later.